covering? Were you satisfied with its appearance, or was it a little on the dull and shabby side? Well, you know, there's a very good remedy for that trouble. Just treat your floor to a beauty treatment with Johnson's Glow Coat. Then you'll have not only sparkling beauty and bright, fresh colors, but you'll have protection and long life for the linoleum. Manufacturers of linoleum themselves recommend Glow Coat. Regular care with this easy-to-use polish adds greatly to the life of the floor covering. Johnson's Glow Coat is self-polishing. It needs no rubbing or buffing. All you do is apply and let dry. In 20 minutes, your floor is something to be proud of. And it's easier to keep clean because spilled things wipe up in a jiffy when your floor is protected with Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. Some people think the reason a newspaper is printed in several sections is so the wind can blow it all over the neighborhood easier. This is an erroneous idea. It's really so two people can read it at the same time. Like at 79 Wistful Vista, where one with the sports page and the other with the affairs of society, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
I fever ham-faced Gorton, the Denver destroyer, KO'd Slugger Malone in the 5th round, McGee.
Oh, Molly, please. That don't sound good coming from you.
Well, blame yourself, dearie. You're the one who handed me the sports section while you grabbed the news.
Yeah, but my gosh, I never...
Oh, listen. Gorilla Grogan, the Memphis murderer, wins match tussle with Boris, the Bulgarian bone breaker. The gorilla...
Okay. You win. I'll swap sections with you.
Thank you. You know, I never did understand it. Isn't this sweet?
Isn't what sweet?
This about Mr. and Mrs. Calvin W. Hookweiler of South Oak Street.
What's about it?
They're celebrating their golden wedding anniversary. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, I guess there's that. She must be the kind of woman who never opens perfume bottles with her husband's razor blades.
Yeah. And he must be the kind of a man who never nags when his wife burns the bacon.
I like burned bacon. Charcoal. Good for the teeth. Besides, you never saw...
Oh, McGee. I hope you and I can celebrate our golden wedding anniversary. Wouldn't that be grand, dearie?
Oh, sure it would. Hey, wait a minute. That's a wonderful idea, Molly. Why don't we do that?
Well, fine, but I don't have to go take off my apron and put on my face right now, do I?
Huh?
We've still got about 25 years to go.
I mean, celebrate our golden wedding right now, today.
Oh, McGee, you can't do that. You got to be married 50 years.
That's the trouble with people. Always wait until the last minute.
What?
We're going to celebrate...
We're not fooling. We're serious.
Certainly. Look, Junior, we just decided to celebrate our golden wedding anniversary right now while we can still have fun.
And Alice Darling and Dr. Gamble and the Wilcoxes are all invited. Won't you please come?
Well, I don't know who thought this up, but it's probably the most delightfully idiotic idea I ever heard, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh, good. Be there about 8 o'clock, Mr. Wilcox.
Yeah, we'll have cocktails first.
Cocktails?
Well, Nat. Oyster, shrimp, mixed fruit, anything you want.
Great. I'll just about have time to pick up a little gift.
Oh, no gift, Junior. That's out.
No, the presents are just between McGee and me, Mr. Wilcox. Only I haven't been able to think of anything for him yet. Have you any ideas? Something gold that doesn't cost too much?
Well, let me think. Oh, sure. I know just the thing.
Oh, good. What is it? Put your fingers in your ears, McGee.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, look, Molly. You know that golden oak dresser he has in his room?
Yes?
Well, that's sort of golden. So why don't we send him out for a while, and we slip up there and polish it all up with Johnson's wax? Make it look beautiful.
Yes, but for a wedding anniversary gift, that hardly seems...
Oh, but there's nothing more pleasant to look at than a Johnson wax piece of furniture, Molly.
You're right.
Yeah, and every time he sees it, he'll think how wonderful it is to be married to such a good housekeeper. So efficient and so economical. A woman who thinks of Johnson's wax immediately when she wants to make her home more attractive. Why, Molly, Johnson...
No, just a darn minute, Waxy. What's Johnson's wax got to do with
Now,
it?
McGee, you weren't supposed to be listening.
I wasn't listening.
Well, then how did you know what I was talking about?
Look, Junior, when you get that slap-happy look on your face, when your chest starts going up and down like a movie hero in a clinch, when you start swaying like you're in a trance, I know what you're talking about.
Well, I think it's wonderful to be so enthusiastic about something, dearie. The only thing you were ever carried away by was the ambulance the time you had pneumonia.
And you know what they use on those ambulances to keep it so shiny?
Yeah, we know.
We know.
Yeah, I was afraid you did. Well, I'll see you at night, folks.
So long.
I'm so glad he's coming. He's a lot of fun at a party.
Yeah, he'll probably want to dance all night, too. I hear he's been taking rumba lessons from Arthur Murray himself.
Arthur Murray of the Teamsters Union?
That's Philip Murray.
Oh?
Although Wilcox does dance a little like a brewery horse at that.
I wish I could think of a gift for you, McGee. Something gold. Say, you don't have a bill slip, do you?
I don't need one. I just throw them on the hall table when they come in anyhow. Don't worry about a gift for me now.
Come in. Oh, for goodness sakes, Dr. Gamble. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Molly. And how are you today? Good looking?
Oh, fine, Doc. Thanks.
I was still talking to Molly.
Well, look, you're invited to dinner with us tonight, Doc, at the Wistful Vista Biltmore. 8 o'clock. It's a celebration.
Celebration of what?
Our golden wedding anniversary.
There must be something wrong with my ears. I better see a doctor and see what am I saying? I am a doctor.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with your ears that a little adhesive tape wouldn't have fixed when you were a baby, too. Idea is, instead of waiting 25 years, we're celebrating our golden wedding anniversary tonight. Won't that make sense?
No, it doesn't, but it's a splendid idea, for you at least.
Why, for him, Doctor?
Well, in another 25 years, Molly, you'll still be a handsome, healthy specimen of womanhood. My little belt stretcher there, little belt stretcher will resemble a weary baboon with arteries like a clay pipe.
Oh, is that so? Well, in 25 years, I'll come over to your house and do a standing broad jump over your wheelchair, you superannuated old pill roller.
You couldn't do a running hop over a crack in the sidewalk right now, Lord Bucket.
That's all you know about it, you malpracticing old muscle twitcher. You couldn't diagnose a case of root beer.
Now, boy. After all, this is hardly the time.
Let him rant, Molly. He's just got a physical inferiority complex because he hasn't got enough leg muscle to keep his garters up. Oh, save your breath, hillbilly. You'll need it to argue with the waiter tonight when he brings your check. See you down there.
Isn't he a sweet old character?
He's old, all right, and he's a character. But if he's sweet, I'm Shirley Temple's grandson.
Say, look, dearie, I've got to get upstairs and start getting ready. Now, when Beulah gets through pressing my dress, ask her to bring it upstairs, will you?
Okay, Snooky, okay. There goes a good kid. She knows this is the silliest idea I ever cooked up. But does she squawk? Yelps her pretty little head off. Till she finds out we're going dancing, then she shuts up like... Uh-oh. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello, Teeny. Come on in.
What you doing, mister? What you doing? Who watch you?
Why, Mrs. McGee and I are getting ready to celebrate our golden wedding anniversary tonight, sis.
What's a golden wedding anniversary, mister? What is that?
Well, that's sort of a long story.
Oh, goody.
You see, the whole thing starts when two young people fall in love.
Oh?
They get engaged, they get married, and then hand in hand they start down the long road of life.
Why is the road, mister? Why is it?
Well, I guess it's because it's so easy to get in a rut. Anyhow, they go along hand in hand, side by side, always together.
Who?
The boy and girl.
Boy and girl?
In the story.
Oh, boy, a story. I love stories. Tell it to me, mister. Go on, tell it to me.
Dad, rat it, sis, I'm trying to tell it to you. Anyhow, they go along through the years, sharing everything. Through trouble, through trial, and tribulation.
Why did they get arrested, mister?
They didn't get arrested, sis. I says they...
And why did they have to go through a trial? Were they framed, huh?
Look. Skip the trial.
Okay, I'll read about it in the paper.
So this young couple goes along through sickness and sorrow, through grief and bad luck and misfortune, through sadness and misery and trouble.
Don't they ever have any fun?
Oh, sure. Some. But they go right ahead anyway. Resolutely marching forward down the rocky road of time. Her little hand in his and her little head on his shoulder. Till all at once one of them happens to take a gander at the calendar, and this thing's been going on for 50 years.
Oh, boy.
So they throw a big golden wedding celebration, and all the friends come and hoop and holler and spill stuff all over the furniture. They live happily ever after and get their pictures in the paper.
Oh, gee, that's a wonderful story, mister. Can I have a golden wedding anniversary, mister? Can I?
Probably someday.
Will I grow up and get married like Mrs. McGee?
Well, certainly.
Will I have a husband like Mrs. McGee's got?
Oh, if you're lucky.
And I'll have him for 50 years. Oh, boy. What some women won't do to get their pictures in the paper.
The King's Men and accentuate the positive.
Gather round me, everybody. Gather round me while I preach some. Feel a sermon coming on. I must deliver this message before the mood is gone. You gotta act accentuate the positive, eat limp, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? They said they better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith, pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To make it clear, let me show Moses in the big Red Sea and Joshua at Jericho. What did they do when the spirits were sagging low? And they started into accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Just accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Oh, my. Isn't this nice, McGee?
Swell. Floor is pretty crowded, but I'll weave us through this mob without bumping into... Whoops! I'm sorry, sis.
Careful, dear.
All right, I'm okay. Foot slip. You got a natural sense of rhythm like I got. You don't... Whoop!
You nearly knocked a man down, McGee.
I'm sorry, Bud. I didn't mean... Oh, it's you, Harlow.
In the flesh, pal. The badly bruised flesh, I might add.
Well, watch where you're going, kid. You're liable to hurt somebody. It's okay, Molly. It's Wilcox.
Oh, McGee, do you remember the first dance you ever took me to back in Peoria?
Sure do. In the high school auditorium.
Yeah. That was the night somebody turned off the lights while we were all dancing.
Yeah. When the lights went out, you ducked, and I kissed my chemistry teacher.
Yeah, Miss Fiditch, I remember. And she slapped the president of the school board.
His wife took him right home.
Yeah.
Ah, boy, those are the days. Sometimes, you know... Ow, watch your elbow, Bud. Oh, that's my elbow.
Maybe you held them a little closer to your sides, dearie.
No, this is okay. Get a better balance on the turns with them out like this. Yeah, you see, if you don't square off on the turn, you get... Hey, what happened? What happened? Did I miss something?
No, the music ended, that's all.
Oh, I thought I heard something funny. Well, come on, let's get back to the table. I didn't have my pie yet, and if Doc Gamble gets there first, he's
Oh, relax, dear. He and Alice came off the dance floor right behind you.
Well, I see you two made it all right.
Old stuff for us, old stuff.
Oh, thanks again for the dance,
Oh,
Alice.
it was fun, Doctor.
Yeah, it looked like fun. Gamble, you get around that dance floor like a hamstrung hippopotamus.
Well, thanks, my boy. You danced with all the carefree abandon of a runaway bulldozer yourself. I could always tell where you were by the trail of people nursing bruises and grudges.
Hey, you had some of this cherry pie, Doc.
Just like Mother used to make, McGee.
Your mother a good cook, Doctor?
Terrible.
Tastes okay to me.
Well, this has been a wonderful evening, dearie. There's only one thing wrong.
What's the matter, Mom?
I just feel badly that I never did get a gift for you, that's all. And I love the gift you gave me. Who else would ever have thought of a gold thimble?
Oh, I knew you would.
McGee, darling, what on earth's the matter?
Oh, a broke a tooth. Cherry pick.
Oh,
Here, my boy, let's see it.
No, don't touch it, Dad. Leave that hands off.
oh, dear, what can we
Get him
do?
to a dentist right away.
At this hour of the night?
Well, this one has offices next door to mine, Molly. You grab a cab and rush him over there. I'll get on the phone and have the dentist there and waiting. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Come on, dearie. Oh, dear of all.
Is there anything wrong, sir?
There certainly is, waiter. My husband just broke a tooth on a piece of your pie. Come on, dearie.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, madam. Rest assured, sir, that the hotel will certainly not charge you a cent.
For the dinner?
For the pie, madam. Now, look, Bud, I can't stand here gabbing. Just give our bill to that fat guy over there. The one with the stethoscope in his pocket. Come on, Molly.
That's it. Just sit back in the chair, Mr. McGee, and we'll have a look. Now, relax now.
Won't hurt much, Doc.
Oh, of course not. Open up now. Let's look in there.
He broke it on the cherry pit, Doctor.
Well, we'll have to drill that a little bit now. Open wider. Little wider. I've got to go in there with this drill, you know. Oh, now, not that wide. I'm not going in, just the drill. That's better.
You see, we were having a little dinner party down at
Celebrating our old wedding anniversary.
Whose golden wedding anniversary?
ours, Doctor.
Yours? My word, how old were you two when you were married?
Well, himself here was 21, but I was...
21 and 50th. Why, that's amazing. By George, I've never seen anyone so well preserved. Well, I wouldn't take him to be a day over 65, Mrs. McGee. Yes, could almost pass for a man of 60. Got the teeth of a man of 60.
Well, Doctor, you see...
Well, there we are, Mr. McGee. You can sit up now.
Ah, that feels better, Doc.
Yes, sir. But we're going to have to give you a new tooth there.
A new tooth? What kind of a tooth?
A new gold tooth.
A gold tooth? Why, that's wonderful. I'll pay for it myself.
Huh?
That's my present, dearie. My golden wedding present to you.
A gold tooth? Oh, this is ridiculous.
As you go about your housekeeping from room to room, you don't stop to think about what you're doing for your family. But with every bit of your housework, every pie you bake, every floor you wax, you're expressing your love for them. And when they say, Mom, this pie is swell, or Mother, the house looks beautiful, well, you've had your reward. And here's something else to give you satisfaction. If your home is regularly wax protected, it's a clean home, cleaner and more sanitary and more healthful. Johnson's wax fills the pores of wood and other surfaces, eliminates many breeding places of germs. Moisture and dirt just don't collect in clean waxed corners. Cleaning and dusting are easier all year round. So the regular use of Johnson's wax saves you work, and every application of this famous wax polish adds greater beauty to your floors, furniture, woodwork, and other furnishings. You can get Johnson's wax in 3 forms: paste, liquid, or cream.
McGee, I still think a golden wedding anniversary is a wonderful thing.
And so do I.
And I'd like to congratulate every single couple who are celebrating theirs or planning to celebrate it. I hope they have a long life and a happy one.
And ice cream for dessert.
Why the ice cream?
No seeds.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. If you have light-painted woodwork in your home, you know what a problem it is, especially with children around, to keep it clean and spotless. If you wash or scrub it too much, you're apt to injure the finish. What's the answer? An easy one. Johnson's Cream Wax, the wax polish designed especially for furniture and woodwork. This remarkable wax is creamy white, easy to use, needs very little rubbing, and it cleans as it polishes. It actually contains several cleansing ingredients so that fingerprints and smudges disappear like magic. That's not an exaggeration, as you'll realize the very first time you try Johnson's Cream Wax. This polish is perfect for enameled surfaces like your refrigerator, for kitchen tables and woodwork, for your dining room table and sideboard, for chairs, beds, and ornaments. Johnson's Cream Wax leaves a wax film for protection. It gives a lustrous, soft, beautiful polish. Even if you already use the Johnson's paste or liquid wax, try a bottle of the white Johnson's Cream Wax on your furniture, light-painted woodwork, and icebox. You'll like it. Nobody can be so completely Western as an Easterner who has spent 2 weeks west of Kansas City. Particularly if he is slightly bow-legged to start with. And here, trying on his old ranch clothes in anticipation of a visit from an old Western friend, we find himself, of Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, boy, I sure got gypped when I bought this 10-gallon hat.
Why did you? That's an awful lot of helmet for $3.98.
Yeah, but I held it under the bathtub faucet, and you know what?
What?
It don't hold more than 6 quarts.
Well, out west, the water goes so much further.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Hey, how do these blue jeans look? They feel like they've shrunk a little.
Well, they do look a little tight, dearie, particularly around the, Oh, that reminds me. Will a nice ham be all right for dinner tonight?
Sure. Wonderful. Old Ollie will love it.
Incidentally, would you mind telling me once more just who this Ollie is that's bringing us the breath of the great open spaces?
Ollie Oopdyke? Oh, you've heard me speak of Ollie Oopdyke.
Oh?
I and him were in the Army together in the last war. The big war.
Where does he live now?
Out in California someplace. Big cattleman. Good thing I spent a lot of time out there. Be able to hunker down and palaver some real cow talk with him. Ought to have a swell evening.
You'll sure have a ripping time if you hunker down in them tight britches.
Shucks, gal, fine clothes and city talk don't cut no cactus when real men folks sit around the campfire. Besides, Ollie'll have to do most of the talking, I reckon.
How come, partner?
I can't talk myself. Breeches are so tight I can't get my breath. Better run upstairs and get into my chaps instead, I reckon.
Well, take it easy in those high-heel boots, McGee. You even wobble when you stand still.
Well, I haven't had them on for several years. They say once you get used to them, you'll never wear anything else.
Well, you'd get a nice suntan that way.
I mean on your feet.
Oh. Well, personally...
Hello, Mrs. McGee, Mr. McGee.
Hello, Alice.
Howdy, Miss Alice. Come in and set a spell, man.
I just... Huh?
Rope yourself a bar stool and name your pies, gal. How about a slug of root beer? Offer you a chaser, too, but we don't cotton to chasers in this valley.
No, thank you. I don't believe but what? I mean...
Oh, relax, Alice. He's just getting in the mood to greet an old pal of his from the West.
Oh.
Hunker down by the fire, miss, and let old Hop-along McGee tell you how he used to rustle cattle. Rustle cattle.
Gee, were you really a cowboy once, Mr. McGee?
Sure was, Miss Alice. I was top wrangler for the old bar nothing spread out in Blue Diamond, Nevada. Spent years out there trying to find a bull that was 9 foot from horn to tail. Already had me a cow critter that was 10 foot from horn to tail.
Well, what did you want such big cattle for?
He was trying to get a long little doggy.
Never forget the time I was chasing a couple of mavericks through a dry wash one day.
What's a maverick, Mr. McGee?
Well, he didn't know. He was trying to catch one to find out.
A maverick is an unbranded cow. Know what a brand is, Miss Alice?
Sure do, partner. But I don't pay much mind to brands nowadays. Smoke any kind I can get.
Well, smoking was no problem out there, Alice. Always had a couple of butts on their guns.
Well, sir. There I was, a yippee-ki-ying through this here dry wash.
What's a dry wash, Mr. McGee?
That's a riverbed without no water into it, Miss Alice.
Well, what is it when it has water in it?
A wet wash.
Well, sir, there I was, sky-hooting along, when all of a sudden the big grizzly bar is up out of a cactus bush.
You mean rose.
No, cactus. Well, sir, my horse gave a snort, sunfished twice, swapped ends, and there I was, a-sailing through the air. Landed plumb onto the back of that there grizzly bear.
Well, dehorn my beauty. Never knowed you was a bareback rider, partner.
Never knowed it myself till then, Ma. Well, sir, I clumped my spurs into his withers, slapped him across the face with my sombrero, and broke him for riding right then and there. Turned out to be the only 5-gated grizzly bear in the whole world.
Jeepers, what became of him, Mr. McGee?
Had to turn him loose, Miss Alice.
Oh?
Couldn't find us a blacksmith that could make shoes with toes on them. Excuse me, ma'am, you dropped your handkerchief. Allow me.
Well, you might have had a nice seat on that bar, partner, but you're a little vice versa right now.
Excuse me, gals, while I go up and change my pants.
Billy Mills and the orchestra and Magic is the Moonlight.
Well, how do I look now, Ma? Got my spurs and my chaps and my neckerchief on.
Very horse opera indeed. What are you carrying the rope for? So if somebody calls, you can tell them you're tied up this evening?
No, I'm going to brush up on my roping. Here's how we do it, Molly. We enlarge the loop, insert the finger between the main line and the loop, and with a graceful twist of the forearm, we start swinging the rope like this. 1, and 2, and too big a loop. Wonder how bad that window's broke. I'll take a look.
Now, if you tell me it's worse than you thought because it's broken on both sides, I'll scream.
Shucks, gal, you ruined my joke.
Oh, well, 'twarn't much of a joke.
Nope. Reckon 'twarn't.
'Twarn't.
Nope. Well, seeing I can't twirl a rope in here, might as well try seeing how fast I can draw my shooting iron.
They being loaded, be they, Paul? My hide starts a-twitching at the sight of shooting iron.
No, don't get skittish, Ma. Just want to try practicing drawing a bead on something. Now, if a outlaw, or a in-law, should come a-busting through that door there, I'd have...
Hello, folks. Hey, take that gun out of my face.
Oh, hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Howdy, son. Hobble your bronc and lie down a spell.
How's that again, pal?
You heard Paul, didn't you? Say it, stranger.
Oh, thanks. What goes on, kids? Why is old Wild Bill McGee all dressed up in the cowpoke costume?
Expecting a friend of mine from out west, son. Big stock man. We aim to make him feel at home.
Not a bad aim either, partner, if you can hold her steady.
Ain't one to ask personal questions, son, but your face is sure familiar. What outfit you ride for?
Well, I've been mending fences for the old G-Bar C spread, Pappy. City folks call it the GLO-COAT outfit.
Well, say, I've heard of them, Paul. Right nice folk. Where are you located, son? T'other side of the ridge must be?
Yep. East side of Racine Gulch, just above Johnson's Canyon, in the Linoleum Mountains.
Mighty sightly country, they tell me.
I hear there's quite a passel of mountain lions around them parts, son.
Sure is, ma'am. Mountains lying all around.
Don't twist Ma's words, stranger.
Sorry, ma'am.
Look, son, I don't aim to be nosy, but what you got in them there saddlebags?
Little gift, ma'am. Here, compliments of the old G-Bar C.
Well, thank you, son. Hair oil, ain't it?
No, ma'am. Glow coat for the linoleum.
What's linoleum?
Well, it's a kind of a carpet made out of cork and stuff. Easterners use it to cover the cookhouse floor with.
Well, brand me for a stray. What'll they think of next? Paul, you gotta take the buckboard into town and get me some of that there, what was that stuff again, son?
Linoleum, ma'am. Makes a right smart floor covering for places that's liable to get spilled on and foot tracks. This here Johnson's glow coat on it saves a heap of house cleaning.
What you trying to do, stranger? Break up my home? House cleaning is what I married her for.
Now, Paul, remember what you says when I give up school, mammin'. You says when I got the chickens fed and the harness polished and the lamps filled and the windmill oiled and the butter churned and the garden patch weeded, I could have the whole afternoon to myself. Don't you remember, Paul?
Why, sure, Ma, but I didn't figure on this dude coming along to fill up your time with Eastern, Falderall.
I've been dreaming for years about having a mighty spare time. Like to try some of that there coldy cream on my face. Like it says in the catalog. How does this here gloaty coat work, son?
Well, you just pour it out, ma'am, spread it around, and wait for 20 minutes or less.
20 minutes, huh? That's about the time it takes the shadow of the spring house to creep past the haystack, Ma.
I always boil an egg myself.
Huh?
When it gets hard enough to bounce, it's 18 minutes. You know, Paul, if the price of beef stays up, you ought to get us a clock. That calendar keeps time awful loose.
Well, anyway, ma'am, when this here glow coat dries, your linoleum will have itself a glitter like a catamount's eyeball.
Well, we sure do thank you kindly for it, stranger.
Sure you won't stay for chow, son? It's just buffalo hump and soda biscuits. But you all are sure welcome.
Well, that's mighty neighborly of you, mister, but I gotta get back to the outfit before dark. Evening, ma'am.
Evening, son.
Hey, my gosh, you hear that? Sounds like he's riding away.
Ha, ha, ha. That was just me slapping my leg.
You know, that's what I like about Mr. Wilcox. He always enters into the spirit of things, doesn't he?
He always enters. I'll go that far.
Say, look, dearie, there's something I've wanted to tell you ever since you came downstairs with those chaps on. Don't you?
Hey, what do you suppose is delaying old Ollie Oopdyke? Gee whiz, he ought to have been here by now.
Well, what time does the train from San Francisco get in?
Well, as the guy says when he put the cigarette into the long holder, let's be frank. I don't know.
Better call up and find out. But about those chaps...
Hand me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me the Union Station. Yeah, the inn for the love of Mike. Is that you, Mert? How's our little thing, Mert? Is they? What's that, Mert? Your brother? Oh, well, that's great. First man to reach the Rhine, huh?
Oh, isn't that wonderful? How long's he been in the Army?
He isn't in the Army. He was in a watermelon eating contest. First man to reach the Rhine. What's that, Mert? Oh, busy, eh? Okay, Mert. Thanks anyway. Line's busy.
Well, stop worrying now. He'll get here all right. And as I was saying about those chaps of yours... Oh, maybe this is Mr. Oopdyke now, dearie. Come in. Oh, no, it's Dr. Gamble. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Molly. Hello, McGee. Well, pull up my pant leg and hog-tie my calf. If that's supposed to be a riding habit you've got on, Buster, I'd try and break myself of it if I were you.
Howdy, Sawbones. Sure glad you come. Bring your kit bag out in the corral. We got a mighty sick heifer out there. That's some local weed, I reckon.
Oh, come off it, McGee. You're about as western as the Fulton Fish Market.
Well, he's just practicing, Doctor. We're expecting an old friend of his for dinner. A big stocksman from California.
Sure be glad to have you nuzzle up to the feed box with us, partner. Fiddles ain't fancy, but they're mighty wholesome. Especially the donuts.
Now listen, you miserable masquerading little mugwump.
Easy on that cussing, stranger. Easy there. There's a lady present.
Where? Oh, me.
Now look, you 10-cent reprint of a counterfeit buckaroo, lay off that bunkhouse baloney. You're about as much at home in the range as a celluloid frying pan.
Old Sidewinder's got the gift of gab, ain't he, Ma?
Ah, he sure has, Paul. Spent much time in the cattle country, Doc?
No, but I've heard more bull right here than you could pasture between South Bend and Sacramento. Where did little wagon tongue here get so full of tumbleweed?
Reckon I never told you, partner. Used to train mules for the Army out in Wyoming.
That was a silly aspiration, if ever I heard
it.
Say, Paul, tell about Bessie. You sure done a job with her.
Yes, I surely did. Had we one mule, I trained for the Signal Corps, Sawbones. Name of Bessie.
Bessie, yeah.
Taught her to wigwag with her big, long ears. Used to send her up to the front lines and let her graze. Watched her ears through a pair of barnacles.
You mean binoculars, dopey.
I always thought binoculars is what they kept the compass inside of.
No, that's a binnacle.
Don't give us none of that sheep dip, stranger. Everybody knows a binnacle is a high peak. Like the fella says, reaching the pinnacle of fame and such like.
That word is pinnacle.
You sure, Doc? Thought pinnacle was a card game.
Molly, you're thinking of pinochle.
Then what in tarnation's a barnacle, city slicker?
A barnacle is a marine animal.
Well, Bessie weren't. Bessie were an army animal. Well, sir, we keep a watching our ears through a pair of barnacles.
I pass.
Bessie kept a wig-wagging information back to us. How many patrols was out, where the gun emplacement was, which way the trenches run, and all stuff like that there. Took them heinies 3 years to figure out where we was getting our information from.
And then what? As if I cared.
Then when they finally caught on, they shot poor Bessie's ears off, Doctor.
Cleaner than a whistle. Had to give poor old Bessie a medical discharge.
I don't know why that should have stopped an ingenious little rascal like you, my friend. Why didn't you teach her to signal with her tail?
No, sir. I was never one to take no back talk from no mule.
What a cowhand. Have you ever been on a horse that wasn't made of wood and didn't go round in a circle?
Oh, sure, Doctor. He spent a couple of summers on his uncle's ranch. Remember those evenings around the campfire, dearie?
Sure do. Listening to the Callahans strumming their guitars and singing, I can shut my eyes and hear 'em now. Yes, sir. Old Slim Darby and his prairie dogs. Squatting around.
Great tender feet, whilst to sings my song. I'm an old Callahan from the Rio Grande, but my legs ain't bald and my cheeks ain't tanned. I'm a cowboy who never saw a plow, never roped a steer, never milked a cow, and I sure ain't fixin' to start him now. Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay. I punch cattle when they're fried in a pan. I can hardly tell beef from pork. And the only leather I ever pulled was in a subway in New York. Oh, get along, little doggy, get along. Old Callahan, Rio Grande. Learn to ride, or learn to stand. I'm a character tougher than an Arkansas mule. Never missed on the draw, never lost a mule. And the horse I ride is a drugstore stool. I'm old Callahan from the Rio Grande, and I love a plain and the desert sand. I'm all the songs that the cowboys know about the big corral where the donkeys go. 'Cause I learned them all on the radio. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, 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 yip-yip-yip-ki-yay.
Yes, so old Slim Darby and his prairie dogs. Let's see now, they was Slim, Rimrock Robinson, Deadwood Dobson, and Lightning Rod Lynn.
Whatever became of those boys?
Oh, big dude named Paul Whiteman heard him and took him back east.
Yeah?
Last I knowed of them, they was calling themselves the King's Men.
Well.
Now, I claim they'll never get no place with a moniker like that there.
Look, dearie, I don't like to change the subject, but those chaps you're wearing...
They're pretty snazzy, eh? Hey, what are we having for dinner, Mom?
Mr. Ropedyke.
No, I mean to eat.
Oh, all right. Well, ham and sweet potatoes and hot biscuits, lemon meringue pie.
How about some maple syrup on the biscuits? As I remembered, old Ollie used to go for biscuits and syrup.
Well, I'll ask Beulah if we have some maple syrup. Oh, Beulah! Beulah! Somebody phone for Beulah?
You got any maple syrup to put on the biscuits, Beulah?
Yes, we sure have. But with ham and yams and pie, it's going to be awful rich, Miss McGee. Oh, let the boys have it, Beulah. It isn't every night we have one of Mr. McGee's old sidekicks for dinner, you know.
Yes, ma'am, only it ain't going to be a sidekick. It's his front.
This guy's a big cattleman from out west, Beulah. Those guys can digest anything.
Well, so can an ostrich, please, sir. But they always wind up with a feather in somebody else's hand.
Well, don't you worry about it, Beulah. It's their responsibility, and we've got to show Mr. Updike that old Western hospitality.
Yes, ma'am. As long as we don't have to show him an old Eastern hospital.
The reason why I'm wearing this cowboy outfit, Beulah, is I wanted to make him feel at home. Look kind of strange to you?
No,
They don't?
No, ma'am. I cooked for a couple of years at a dude ranch out in Yuma, Arizona.
You mean Yuma, Arizona?
Yes. And 3 years at the Barrow Ranch in Phoenix.
The Barrow, Beulah.
Yes, and they called that because folks was always used to come running up the road to borrow a cup of sugar and borrow a couple of eggs or something.
I always liked Phoenix, Beulah. Beautiful place. Why'd you leave there?
Oh, I like Phoenix too, sir, but they wouldn't raise my fees, so I say nix.
Didn't you like ranch life, Beulah?
Oh, it's real healthy, ma'am, I admit that, but I'm a city gal. You see, I can't get to sleep last night. Here's fenders banging, the flat wheel streetcars clanking, cops whistle, and milkman keep them bottles noisy.
You mean you'd rather be here with a wolf mooning at the bay than out there with a wolf baying at the moon?
Yeah, that's what I said, baying at the moon. Yeah, that's what I said. Oh, look, I didn't say that. I love that man.
What was I about to say before you... I know. Those chaps you're wearing, McGee, will you please...
What's the matter with them? Gee whiz, I had them made by one of the best Western outfits in Trenton, New Jersey. And they told me when they...
My goodness, I wonder who this could be. Come in.
Well, what is it? What do you want?
I'm looking for the residence of Mr. Fibber McGee.
Well, this is it.
And state your business briefly, Bud. We're expecting company. And...
I am Oliver Updike.
Heavenly days, boy, it's Ollie.
Well, him stitch my hackamore if it ain't. You ain't changed a bit, Ollie, old hoss. I'd have knowed you any place.
Why, sure.
Lie down and set a spell, partner. You're sure a sight for these old eyes. This here's a little woman, Ollie. Molly, this here's Ollie. Ollie, Molly.
How do you do?
How do you do, I'm sure. Please come in and sit down, Mr. Updike.
Hunker up to the fire there, Ollie. Old Longhorn been hankering for some real old corral talk. How many head of beef you running now? How's the grazing? Any trouble with nesters?
Nesters?
Homesteaders, partner, always muddying up the water holes.
And a sight too handy with a running iron, Ollie. How big a trail herd you run this year?
Trail? You mean cattle, McGee? I have nothing to do with cattle.
What? I thought your letter says you were a stockman.
I am. Stocks and bonds. I said I was on my way to New York because of bull market conditions.
Oh.
Well, dinner will be ready in just a few minutes, Mr. Updike. Would you like to wash up a bit?
Yes, thank you, I would.
Head of the stairs and second door on the left, Ollie.
Thanks.
Stocks and bonds. Bull market.
Look, sweetheart, before he comes back, those chaps you're wearing.
Yeah?
You're supposed to wear pants under them.
Oh, my gosh. I thought they were a little drafty.
If you're ever in doubt about the kind of polish to use on your linoleum surfaces, let me read you a paragraph I noticed yesterday in a recent issue of a Home Economics magazine. It's from an article on the care of floors and reads as follows. Never use shellac, lacquer, or varnish on smooth surface floor coverings. These will cause discoloration, and under foot pressure, the finish will break down and form unsightly ridges, which grow worse with each new coat. All experts agree that Johnson's Glow Coat is the ideal kind of polish for all linoleum. It's recommended by the linoleum manufacturers themselves. Glow Coat gives protection against dirt, wear, and moisture, adds greatly to the life of the linoleum, keeps it new and fresh-looking indefinitely. And Glow Coat saves you lots of work. First, because it's self-polishing and needs no rubbing and buffing. And second, because spilled things are wiped up in a jiffy. From floors protected with Johnson Self-Polishing Glow Coat.
Folks, about this time of year, everybody's handing out awards for this and that, medals and ribbons and Oscars. Tonight, we'd like to hand out one of our own. This is the first, last, and only Fibber McGee and Molly annual award for services far beyond the call of duty.
And the citation reads, to America's #1 soldier in grease paint, to the one-man vaudeville circuit, who has brought honor to the radio industry and glory to himself for the untiring work he has done and is doing. to entertain our servicemen in camps and hospitals all over the world without regard to his own health, comfort, or safety.
Ladies and gentlemen, our hearty admiration and respect to the lad you'll hear in just a minute, Bob Hope. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Marlowe Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. You know, it's not so long ago that Saturday was best known as Bath Day for the kids and Baking Day and Floor Scrubbing Day for their mothers. But now you mothers are more fortunate on that floor business. Johnson's Glow Coat has moved that unpleasant chore back with the antique. You'd never think of doing all that hard work again, when with Glow Coat it's a cinch to have linoleum floors clean and sparkling all the time. Glow Coat saves work, first because it needs no rubbing or buffing. You simply apply and let dry. It saves work also because it's so easy to keep a glow-coated floor clean and beautiful. Spilled things are wiped up with a damp cloth in a jiffy. Besides saving you work, self-polishing Glow Coat saves your linoleum, makes it last ever so much longer because it protects against dirt, wear, and moisture. And, of course, a beautiful floor protected with Glow Coat makes your kitchen a more cheerful room to work in. The people at 79 Wistful Vista have been having a little trouble with their radio. All week it's been going... This morning, however, Mr. McGee made a couple of minor adjustments, and now it goes... But never one to give up until something is either fixed or ruined. He's still in there fighting as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
Sound any better now, Molly?
If I wasn't so fond of you, dearie, I'd say that every time you touch that thing, it sounds worse.
Well, I think I've located the trouble. I think it's got a grid leak.
Shall I get a pan to put under it?
I guess you don't know much about electricity, Snooky. What I mean is the AC is draining off into DC. Now, let me see if I put this...
What on earth are you doing?
Dealing around inside the video. I think possibly the condenser...
What are you dancing around for? I don't hear any music.
Got a shock. My gosh, I just absorbed enough juice to light the city of that. Hey, you got any rubber gloves?
No, I haven't. I sent the only pair I had to cousin Lefty. She's going to work on a farm this summer, you know.
Well, she needs rubber gloves for to work on a farm.
Well, she punches little holes in the ends of the fingers with a needle.
Yeah?
Fills the glove with warm water and practices milking.
It's going to be a little confusing when she finds out a cow only has 4 fingers. Oh, well, I guess I don't need it anyway. Now, let's see. Where's my pliers?
In your left hand.
Well, what'd I do with my left hand? Oh. Now, let's see. If I tighten this little dingus here. I'll bet that. Now, listen.
And as Mr. Stalin says in the Yalta Conference...
My. Isn't Russian an interesting language?
I think maybe I better take the whole radio apart.
Oh, dear.
Unplug the plug out of the wall plug, will you? Thanks. Now to work. Here we go. That's been scratching.
I still think you ought to call a radio repairman, McGee.
No, it'll take too long. There's an opera singer on tonight that I don't want to miss. Gloria Pizzicato. On that Gilly Garden Host program.
Why, she can't sing. She's only on that program because her husband is Mr. Gilly, and she only married him because he manufactured hose. She not knowing it was garden hose. She's positively the worst. Oh, hello, Alice.
McGee, hello, Mr. McGee. Something wrong with the radio?
Yeah, a tube's burned out or something, Alice. Tuned in the Andrews sisters last night and could only get 2 of them.
Plug it in and let me hear it, Mr. McGee.
Okay. I'll see if we can get that program Molly likes. Joyce Jensen, Girl Gopher Hunter. That's the one.
And as we leave Joyce Jensen, Girl Gopher Hunter,
That's it.
trapped in the blazing reptile house of the zoo, where she has been lured by Ben Baxter, who is secretly trying to break the will of the dying Mortimer Fixley. Because he is secretly infatuated with Tracy Lammermoor, whose father has been missing since the blueprints of the new battleship was stolen by Siegfried Schoenfeld, and that's his spy. Who is secretly in love with Alice Greenfeather, who has been Baxter's secret mother. We wonder how it will all come out. Tune in all day tomorrow and let your housework go straight to the
Sounds like your condenser was shot, Mr. McGee.
Sounded more like the announcer was, Alice. And none too soon, Edie.
One of these days, John's other wife is going to fall secretly in love with one of the quiz kids, and Clem McCarthy will get so excited he'll bite H.B. Keltonborn in the ankle. Well, I'll just check this radio all over, I
Well,
guess.
if I can help you any, Mr. McGee, I have my toolkit upstairs, and I'll be glad to run up.
No, thanks, kid. I'll make out okay. This is man's work. I used to build radios, you know, back in Peoria.
Indeed, he did, Alice. Many's the oatmeal box I've held while he wrapped wire around it, and then held again while he unwrapped the wire and got his thumb out of it.
I built the first GA set in Peoria, Alice.
What's a GA set?
Get anything. Had 12 dials on that baby. Took up the whole mantle.
My father used to be a great radio fan in the early days. He'd sit there night after night with those headphones glued to his ears. Mother finally had to do something about it.
What'd she do, Alice?
She had to spank my little brother and hide the glue.
Well, this isn't getting radio fixed, girls. One side, please, while I make a mug out of Marconi.
I'll be glad to help you, Mr. McGee, if you want me to. I'm very happy.
No. Thanks anyway. This is no job for a band therapy.
Well, all right. Just call me if there's anything I can do.
Call her. I never saw a woman yet that didn't think a shingle nail was something to scratch yourself with when you had the shingle. Now, let me see. Where's my tire tape?
Well, I think I saw it.
One of these days, I gotta straighten out that closet.
Billy Mills and the orchestra and Sleigh Ride in July.
because he was full of energy. Now, let me see. Where's my tack out? Oh, bought some little rabbits from a guy named Myers. Couldn't do long division, but they're great multipliers. Please, Molly.
Here you are.
Thanks.
Are you getting any place, dearie?
Well, I think I know where the trouble is. You see this tube? Hold it up to the light. That's it. What do you see?
A lot of little fine wires.
Exactly. And naked as a boiled potato. No insulation on it. Pretty shoddy workmanship, if you ask me.
Well, how do you get the little wires out of the tubes to wrap them with the insulation?
Break the glass.
Yes, but maybe...
If them little wires were properly insulated, they don't need any glass around them, see? Another thing is here, you got to have these things...
Hello, folks.
Oh, hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Junior.
Fixing the radio?
Now, there is an intelligent question. Got my hands full of tools and the radio scattered all over the joint, and he asked me, am I fixing the radio? No, Junie, I'm up on the roof, measuring the chimney for some new soot.
Don't be sarcastic, McGee. It was a natural thing to ask.
Just what was wrong with the radio, pal?
Can't say exactly, Junior. All I know is I don't get what I tune in for.
Well, some program you particularly want?
Yes, he wants to hear that opera singer, Gloria Pizzicato, over WVIS.
Gloria Pizzicato?
Yeah.
That babe couldn't hit high C with a bazooka. I used to have a Model T Ford with a worn brake drum that could sing better than she can.
Now, looky here, Junior. Don't tell me who to listen to and who not to listen to and who to. Besides, I've heard you sing. And your lower register ain't fit to try a pair of overshoes on. You got the rhythm of a spavined horse in a cobblestone alley and a tonal delicacy of a dentist drill. You must have trained with a busted windshield wiper for a metronome, accompanied by a sweet potato that was left too long in a damp basement. Oh, I could say more, but I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Thanks.
I guess McGee didn't know you used to sing in Chautauqua, Mr. Wilcox.
Didn't you, pal?
Sure. Pink's Mules used to be in vaudeville, too. But they took their last bow in a glue factory. So if I want to listen to Gloria Pizzicato tonight, I'm going to listen to Gloria Pizzicato tonight. On.
Well, they're your eardrums, chum. Suit yourself. Say, I know where you can get that fixed in no time.
Where, Mr. Wilcox?
My cousin, the radio repairman, Big Freddie Wilcox, at 14th and Oak.
Oh, my God.
Say, incidentally, you know what Freddie told me about a radio?
What did he tell you?
A very interesting thing. Parlor trick, sort of. He says if you turn your radio on, and while it warms up, you talk into the speaker and turn it off, it will play your own voice back to you when you turn it on again.
Well, heavenly days, I never heard that before.
Here, let's try it. Turn it off. Now, I'll talk into it fast, shut it off, and turn it back on again and hear my own voice repeat what I said.
Isn't this fun?
Go ahead, Junior.
Okay. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking.
Big Harlow.
Oh, yes. This is Big Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax.
Closer into the speaker, Harlow.
All right. I am just reminding you again that Johnson's Wax is the finest protection money can buy for your floors, furniture, woodwork, picture frames, leather goods, and 100 other things you want to guard from dust and dampness, scratching, and smudging.
Better cut it short, Mr. Wilcox. This is a very dumb radio and won't remember very much of what you said.
Remember Johnson's Wax when you want to protect your fine possessions against dryness and dampness, wear and tear, use and abuse. Now, shut it off. Quick, pal. Now, on again.
I don't hear a thing.
Well, I'll be darned. What do you know about that?
I don't know anything, Waxy. But I suspect a plenty. I got a sneaking suspicion.
I told Freddie I didn't think it would work, but he kept insisting and insisting. I'm going down and tell him right now. See you later, folks.
And I never caught on. After all these years, I never caught on.
Well, now, look, dearie, if you intend to hear Gloria Pizzicato on that radio tonight, you'd better start getting the real snook wired back into the audio boosters or something.
Oh, my gosh, I guess I better have that. Hey, I just got an idea what might be wrong with this thing.
What's that?
This wire here is marked ground. See?
Yeah?
Well, all the time we've had it fastened to the radiator. That radiator is 8 feet off of the ground if it's an inch. No wonder the darn...
Well, you do it your own way, sweetheart. But I hope you get the radio fixed before Roosevelt's next inauguration. I haven't missed one since I was a child.
Well, I've got to go out in the kitchen and see how Beulah's coming along with the dinner.
Okay. Ah, there goes the kid. She knows when it comes to repairing a radio, I don't know an aerial from a rheostat. Does she say anything? No, sir. But does she think things? Brother, you got no... Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, Teeny. Rest your rompers on the rug there and watch Uncle Fibber set the radio industry back 15 or 20 years.
What you doing, mister? What you doing? To what ya?
To the world at large, sis, I'm fixing the radio. But strictly between us kids, I wish I knew.
I love to listen to the radio, I bet you. I like Bing Crosby. He sends me.
Well, I wish he was here now. I'd ask him to do it. See, if I move the octostat near the flanellium here, it ought to make the variations more sanitized.
I wish I was smart enough to take a radio apart.
You, eh? I says you do, eh?
What?
You wish you were smart enough to take a radio apart.
I know it. And if I was that smart, I'd be too smart to do it, I bet you.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you're so smart...
What makes the radio work, mister? And what does? Will you explain it to me, mister? And will you please?
Why, Teeny, do you mean to sit there with your little pigtails on the wrong end of the little pig? And tell me you don't comprehend the nature of the wireless?
No.
Close your mouth and open your eyes, and I'll tell you something to make you wise. Now then, what happens when you turn on your radio?
It makes it kind of a little quick, and then the little light turns on.
Exactly. And way out in the ether, Mother Nature hears that light. And quick to flash, she calls in all her little kills and Meg. Radio turned on a 14th note, whistle this. And all the little kills hop onto their kilocycles. And all the little megs hop onto their megacycles. And they race away as fast as their little fat wavelengths will carry. You know what a wavelength is, sis?
Sure I do, I bet you. 5 feet 2.
I figure that.
My sister is a wave, and that's her length.
Well, sir, all them little kills and megs ride along on their kilocycles and megacycles till they see that little light shines in your radio. Sir, and then they hop off and into the back of the radio. That's why they always leave the back part of the radio open. And quick to wink, they decide who's going to be music, who's going to be dialogue, and who's going to be announced. And if any little meg or little kill has got a bad cold, they let him be the static. Well, sir, then you hear the music, and the dialogue, and the commercial, which is when everybody turns the radio down and rushes out into the kitchen for a bottle of root beer before the music comes on again.
Boy, that was a wonderful story, mister.
I thought so.
Gee, poor Mr. Marconi.
What do you mean, poor Mr. Marconi?
To think he spent his whole life laboring under the delusion that radio was based upon the utilization of electromagnetic waves, converted into electrical impulses known as audio frequency currents and amplified by means of a vacuum tube to a diaphragm or loudspeaker. Gee, if he had only known. Oh, poor Mr. Marconi.
The King's Men singing Leave the Dishes in the Sink, Mom.
Paul started running when he heard the whistle blow. The postman brought a letter, an airmail from our Joe. It says he'll soon be home again from far across the blue. And Paul took off his apron and hollered out, "Yoo-hoo! Leave the dishes in the sink, Ma, leave the dishes in the sink. Every place will have to wait. Tonight we're gonna celebrate. Leave the dishes in the sink." Paul started jigging and he cried, "Ma, shake a leg. I'm going to the cellar. There's cider in the keg. Bologna's in the icebox and there's cheese and pickles too. We'll call in all the neighbors. Tonight's our night. Yoo-hoo! Leave the dishes in the sink, Ma, leave the dishes in the sink. Every place will have to wait. Tonight we're gonna celebrate. Leave the dishes in the sink. I began a fiddling and the dancing was begun. Grandpa started shouting, "Grab your partners, everyone!" Each one grabbed a partner, oh, the party it was gay. And Ma, she looked so pretty, they hollered out, "Hooray!" stepped inside. Pa and Pa, they grabbed him just as happy as could be. But Joe, he saw the dishes and hollered out,
Ma, I washed them in the Army. I'm a terrific KP.
"Oh, leave the dishes in the sink. Joe, leave the dishes in the sink. We'll break them to commemorate the day. Pa really never liked them anyway. So leave the pieces of the dishes in the sink." Hooray!
Oh, I had a little goat whose name was Slim. It's worth your life to turn your back on him. Hey, Molly, where's my pliers?
In the cuff of your pants, dearie.
Oh, yeah. I put them there so I know where they were. I got to cut a hunk of this wire off. Is there a knife there?
Well, I don't see any.
Ask Beulah to bring me a small kitchen knife, will you?
Certainly. Why leave it out in the kitchen where it'll just get ruined peeling potatoes and apples?
Yeah.
Oh, Beulah! Beulah!
Somebody call for Beulah?
Hey, Beulah, bring me a small knife, will you? I got to slice some wire.
Is there something go bluey with the radio focus?
Yes, Beulah, and Mr. McGee wants to get it fixed in time to hear Gloria Pizzicato tonight.
Gloria Pizzicato? Oh, man, that gal got a voice like making a bed with broken fingernails. When she's singing, makes her hair stand up on a scrub brush.
We won't discuss my musical taste, Beulah.
No, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Well, it's a good thing we won't, dearie. I happen to know that your idea of fine music is hearing the curse of an aching heart played on a musical saw.
Yeah. Well, I like imitations of a locomotive played on a banjo, too. And believe me, that ain't easy.
You mean it ain't easy to like, sir?
I mean it ain't easy to play it.
You said you played the piano, didn't you, Beulah?
Yes, ma'am, but not so much anymore. Housework and hot dog ain't strictly compatible. Music is like chicken pockets. Oh, you gotta keep your head in or you don't get no place.
You can say that again.
Yes, the music's like chicken pockets.
No, Beulah. He means you're right.
Oh, thank you, sir. And you wishes me to bring you out a little parent knife?
Yes, you'll be so good as to. When I get through with this radio, Beulah, it'll tune so fine you can hear Mr. District Attorney filing a brief.
Yeah, Mr. District Attorney, what is the mail thing? I love that man.
Look, dearie, I won't mention it again after this, but why don't you just toss all those parts into a pillowcase and haul them down to a radio repairman?
No, sir, I can handle this.
Just a knife, sir.
Thank you, Beulah.
Now I can get someplace. Let's see. Oh, my gosh. When were these things sharpened last? I'd hate to be trapped in a cobweb with only these knives on me.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that, Pet. You've been promising to sharpen those knives ever since we... Come in.
Hello, Molly, my dear.
Oh, come in, Dr. Gamble.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, my boy. Well, what are you up to now?
My clavicle in this radio. Pull up a chair and I'll show you a few of the finer points of radiotronics, Gamble.
Finer points of what?
Radiotronics. Spell it. Skip it.
The radio has been acting up, Doctor. I wanted to send it to a repairman, but himself here thought it was a waste of money.
Oh, it is, my dear. It is a waste of money.
Sure.
Unless, of course, you plan to use the set again sometime. I suppose you're throwing this one away when little Fumblefoot gets through playing with it.
What do you mean, throw it away? Stick around, wise guy, and I'll show you how... Hey, you got your satchel there? Let me have a scalpel, will you?
Why, certainly. There you are, my boy. Although if you're planning on cutting your throat in despair, let me do it. I'm a doctor, you know. We learn how to do those things neatly. And besides, Hey, what are you doing with that? Give me that scalpel.
Okay, take it, Indian giver. I was just trimming those wires down a bit.
My best scalpel. Of all the unmitigated, colossal, my $12 scalpel.
Well, that's what you get for lending your stuff around promiscuously, you big stoop. You're not supposed to lend your surgical tools to a guy who's not a doctor anyhow. You know how septic people are. You could get in trouble with the AMA for that.
Why, of all the... I ought to... Oh, all right, I asked for it. Anybody who lends you anything without keeping one hand on it ought to have it ruined. That's what...
To what?
Oh, plug it in.
Okay.
Now get a load of our radio off the sound after a good overhaul. Get a load of this reception.
Very good.
That's the same kind of reception he gets when he walks into the Elks Club, Molly.
Oh, take it easy, you old buckethead. My guys, I got
Mr. McGee. Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble. I'd say, Mr. McGee, maybe I can help a little with that radio if you want me to.
Don't worry about it, Alice. We'll get a repairman.
Oh, I don't mind, Mrs. McGee. I just thought maybe I could help. Sounded to me a little while ago like the condenser is improperly wired. Maybe it's crossed with a transformer.
Condenser? You're thinking of an icebox, Alice. This is a radio.
You're thinking of a compressor on an icebox, Mr. McGee. I said the condenser.
Yeah, but I don't think...
Why don't you let her look at it, you noisy little feedback? She at least knows more than you do about it. Which would be nothing at all.
Go right ahead, Alice. You two know all about radios. Go ahead, fix it up. I'm through.
Well, jeepers, I don't want to... I mean...
Go ahead. I'll just sit over here.
Well, I'm sure it won't take but a minute. I work on radio sets all day long at the airplane plant. I think you've got the condenser hooked into series with the amplifier tube. What that does is build up a charge in the resistor tubes and screwdriver tubes. Oh, thank you. And when it attains sufficient ohmage, it develops a squeal. So I'm changing the wiring so that the grids alternate with the resistors, and so the condenser can function properly. And there we are. Now try it.
Wonderful.
Clear as a bell.
Shucks, she only did what I was starting to do. Only she's got smaller hands. She can reach in farther. Oh, hey, it's time. Get Gloria Pizzicato. Time for her to be on.
WBIS, Alice.
Oh, all right. Here.
Pizzicato with her first number this evening. Why do I love you?
Ah, just got it in time.
The idea, McGee.
I thought you wanted to hear Gloria Pizzicato.
Of course I did. If I didn't hear her, how would I know when to shut her off? I hate that woman. I shut her off every night. Thanks very much, Alice.
Don't mention it, ever.
If one of your friends said to you, I keep house with wax, would you know what she meant? Well, if you went over her home room by room, I think you would. Because in every one of those rooms, from the front door through the kitchen, you'd find wax protection, wax polished beauty. Floors that grow lovelier with every application of Johnson's wax. Tabletops, sideboards, chair arms that gleam with wax protection, that are so easy to keep clean and sparkling. Windowsills that are not afraid of a sudden shower. Venetian blinds, picture frames, leather articles, lampshades that wear a coat of Johnson's wax proudly. Yes, you'd find in every room evidence of regular applications of Johnson's wax to all kinds of surfaces, protecting them, preserving them, adding beauty and length of life, and saving hours of housework. That's what we mean by protective housekeeping with Johnson's wax. And believe me, it pays big dividends.
All these parts Alice had left over, McGee.
Throw them out. Be thankful we haven't got a television set.
Why?
Imagine getting that put back together and having 3 faces, 2 bodies, and a piccolo left over.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The other day, a naval officer told us a new use for wax that I'd like to pass along as a suggestion to other officers in the service. You ladies know what to do with a piece of furniture or woodwork that's apt to get smudged with fingerprints. You wax it with Johnson's wax. And that makes it easy to keep clean, and it's always polished. Well, you know how the visor of an officer's cap gets fingerprinted and how it's exposed to the weather? Well, what's more natural than to put a little wax occasionally on that visor? You can use either Johnson's paste or liquid or cream wax. It takes just a little, but it makes a big difference in appearance. It'll pay you to buy a small package of Johnson's wax for your own use. It's also fine for your shoes and other leather articles, billfold, briefcase, luggage. It also protects articles made of metal. Perhaps you've already discovered its use in the past on your fishing rods, golf clubs, and other sporting equipment. The residents of 79 Wistful Vista have just had a close call. A man called for some clothes, and they weren't ready. But here in the living room, sorting out a big pile of clothing, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
My gosh, Molly, that's an awful big pile of stuff you're giving away there.
Well, it's in a good cause, dearie.
What is it again? United what?
The United National Clothing Collection for Overseas Relief. I told you that a dozen times. And as soon as I sort out this last part...
Hey, wait a minute. You're not giving my old sweatshirt away.
Oh,
My good basketball sweatshirt. Why, my...
Oh, look, Pat. If you mean this 12-pound hunk of gray yarn marked Peoria Umberjack, why, you haven't worn that for 15 years. Incidentally, what is an umberjack?
Well, that was originally lumberjack. The moth chewed the hell out of it.